As she watched Rimuru place the mask on Chronoa's face, Luminous couldn't help but think, did he succeed? It was a gambit. Chloe and Hinata had placed their trust in Rimuru, and so would Luminous put all the hope in him. The two had mentioned Rimuru to her a long time ago. Luminous had decided to feign ignorance, whilst keeping a close eye on him. When she discussed it with Hinata, she even pretended to know nothing. She only attended the Walpurgis banquet because she'd learned that Rimuru would be present. However, Luminous had been told differently, especially in regard to Rimuru becoming a demon lord. As Chloe's words gradually came true, Luminous no longer had any reason to doubt. And that was why Luminous had never intended to antagonize Rimuru in the first place. However, recently, these events contrasted greatly with the story Chloe and Hinata had told her. Inconsistencies were beginning to rise. This stirred great fear in Luminous. She was afraid that Chronoa, hidden in the Holy Ark, wouldn't be revived correctly if things continued to change. Her fear was realized when the least expected happened. Right before her much-anticipated music concert, her longtime subordinate Granbell betrayed her. Actually, she knew Granbell would betray her a long time ago, but never expected him to rebel against her so openly. And then, Hinata died. Chronoa was revived. Facing all these irregularities was to depend on Rimuru. Despite what she knew, he had also survived, so he, too, was an irregularity. Thus, he was the best candidate to handle the situation. That was how Luminous judged the matter. Sure enough, Rimuru did not disappoint. He decided to try to call for Chronoa's soul. That mask looks just like the one Chloe had. Then there's still hope. Luminous cheered internally. It was then that Granbell spoke to her. You seem quite happy, Luminous-sama. Do you truly believe that your beloved Chloe would return? What did you say? Isn't Chronoa the will of destruction? Now that the Holy Ark once containing it has disappeared, you must return Chloe's will in order to stop Chronoa. But do you really believe that Chloe's soul still rests inside Chronoa? Luminous was stunned. How did you know this? She quickly turned her thoughts around. Had it been Granbell, it would have been possible for him to eavesdrop on Luminous and Chloe's conversation. I see, so that's why you... Indeed. Just as you thought. This is the fastest way to destroy the world. Just hand responsibility to someone stronger than me. Granbell laughed, and his eyes were dark with madness. Silence. Don't think you can achieve that so easily. But I will. This world has always trampled my dreams. For example, my friend has just died. Hearing Granbell's words, Luminous noticed that another battle had concluded. Rimuru's subordinates had won and Razul had perished. Haha, this world is so cruel to me. So what? Luminous snapped. Granbell merely declared to her calmly. That's why, a world like this should just disappear. Quit talking to yourself. You can despair all you want, but do it by yourself. Luminous shouted as she raised her beloved saber. It was called Nitros, named after her hometown. Granbell responded to Luminous in a similar fashion. He drew his partner since his days as a hero, the long sword of truth. Both of their weapons were mythical grade, and had similar quality. Then, despair. No, that's not it at all. Right now my heart is filled with hope. Granbell roared. Suddenly, the energy released from Razul's body began to flow into his. It was Razul's soul and his power. Maria, Razul, and Granbell. The three's powers sublimated in their souls to create one hope. Confirmation complete. Conditions satisfied. Unique skill Unyielding One has evolved into ultimate skill Hope King Serial. Granbell had once again gone to greater heights of strength under these circumstances. He had reached the ultimate realm, which only the chosen could reach. Coincidentally, both Ultimate Skill Hope King Serial and Ultimate Skill Lustful King Asmodeus had the same authority, and that was over life and death. Now even their powers were on par with each other. Granbell stood silently, gazing at Luminous with his darkened eyes. I am ready to, Luminous-sama. Let us end this once and for all. Well said. I shall accept your resolve. Now then, rest assured as I will kill you. The next moment, the two powerhouses collided. A duel between those who had awakened their ultimate skills, yet the victor was decided in an instant. In a flash of red, Luminous struck with her Nitros. With a dim blue flame, Granbell blocked her strike with his longsword of truth. Memory and Requiem. Fortitude. The ultimate skill Lustful King Asmodeus clashed with Hope King Serial. And having the same abilities, the one with the strong will would win the battle. And because of that, the unyielding hero Granbell had no reason to lose, and yet Luminous was the last person standing. After placing the mask on Chronoa, I could feel myself sinking into her spiritual world. Of course, I had no idea how to do that myself. Raphael-san handled the operation entirely. I thought her world would be a void of darkness, but as it turned out, it was rather bright. Since a place like this definitely wouldn't have any light source, I suppose that this must have just been an imaginary scene. As I bounced forward, guided by my instincts, I noticed someone walking towards me. Hey, long time no see, Slime-san. Actually, I should call you Satoru-san. It was Shizu-san. Despite my nostalgia, I felt a little shy. So I said, half jokingly, "Don't be so formal. My name now is Rimuru. Not to discard my past, but it's a bit embarrassing being called that." It definitely wasn't because I was hoping she would call me that. Definitely not. By the way, this mental scenery was really convenient. If I ever felt lonely, even the dead could keep me company. Shizu-san wasn't wearing her mask, and instead greeted me face to face. Her burn scars were gone as well, which once again confirmed to me that Shizu-san was absolutely beautiful. It was only natural that I looked like a Bishoujo myself due to it being based on Shizu's appearance. I suppose that made sense. Although, as a guy originally, the feeling was rather strange. Having Shizu-san accompany me boosted my confidence, and my pace hastened. Shizu-san smiled and followed. Yet, in front of us, stood another Bishoujo. It was Chronoa. Her eyes were flooded with hatred. It was terrifying. It really looked like she wanted to destroy the world. First, I wanted to talk to her. Hopefully she would listen. But as I was about to speak, something unexpected happened. "You are Rimuru. Is this real? Is it Rimuru himself?" This reaction was rather surprising. I thought she would be more hostile towards me. Yeah, Rimuru-san here." Confirming that it was me, Chronoa stepped forward to hug me. The Bishoujo was hugging a slime. It was pretty nice. Seeing us like this, Shizu-san giggled. She patted Chronoa's head lightly and murmured, "You have worked very hard. I really wanted to see you too, Hiro-sama." Was it okay for us to act all lovey-dovey like this now? People were fighting intensely outside, but here I was feeling really happy. Well, are you Chronoa?" Now that we were with each other face to face, I started to suspect that Chronoa was how Chloe would look after growing up. They were very similar. Yes, I am Chronoa. I am a personification of evil trapped inside Chloe. I am also her alternate personality. If Hinata never named me, I probably wouldn't have become self-aware as a separate personality. I see. I still hadn't really computed the situation just yet, but it seemed that the situation was a lot more complicated than I originally thought. "Then your goal is?" "If she wanted to destroy the world, I had to do my best to stop her. But since she was Chloe's alternate, maybe I could figure out a way to call Chloe back and switch them, which was why I had to ask her. However, it's all okay now. Because Rimuru is safe and sound," Chronoa asserted calmly. She didn't seem to have any other conviction. "What do you mean I'm safe and sound? Please don't say something so ominous." I had safely pulled through many dangerous situations in the past. So now, I didn't want any more trouble like that again. I mean, I've always been fine. At my answer, Chronoa became furious. "How dare you say that? You sacrificed yourself to save me." "I sacrificed myself?" I was very confused. I didn't really know why she was pissed, but I decided to just apologize anyway. "Ahaha, sorry, I'll be careful in the future. Don't lie to me again. Pinky promise." I then promised Chronoa to not do anything reckless. I don't get it. It's not like I go out to do reckless things. Oh wait, hold on. If Chronoa has memories of the future, maybe in the future I'd. The likelihood is very high. Oi, there's no way that's true, right? I really didn't want to hear that. Actually, I suppose it was better that I did. Better hear it now than later. Never be reckless in the future, I solemnly swore. With Chronoa finally calming down, I moved on to the important questions. "Then, do you know where Chloe is? And is Hinata with her?" Even though I was getting impatient, I still needed to be careful. If I got on Chronoa's bad side, she probably wouldn't tell me anything. But it seemed that I was worrying for nothing. She is lost in the infinite prison deep inside my heart. In the past, I was the one trapped there. But as times changed and two of the same existence appeared, we switched places. And so, she told me everything. It seemed that Chronoa cherished Chloe a lot too. She seemed to think that Chloe was indeed the main personality while she herself was the supporting alter. I believed her. Upon thinking so, I asked my next question. "What about Hinata?" "Hinata. She's already dead," Chronoa said. Her answer made me freeze. How can that be? Luminas said that Hinata traveled back in time with Chloe. In that way, Hinata should be fine. You are mistaken, Rimuru. Hinata has already died here. Granbell's attack could even extinguish souls. They were able to leap back in time together because Chloe absorbed Hinata's soul. But Hinata alone would not be able to withstand the time leap. But I thought, Luminas said she spoke to her as well. Moreover, wasn't Hinata the one who gave the name Chronoa? Wouldn't that mean? Only Hinata's consciousness was left from the residue of her soul. Since it was stored inside Hinata's unique skill, I couldn't absorb Hinata's mathematician. If I did that, Hinata's consciousness would disappear too. Seeing how sad Chronoa was as she answered, I knew she wasn't lying. But, hold on. Her skill was born from her soul, and Hinata used it to preserve her consciousness, right? If so, if I put her skill back into her body, wouldn't that revive her from the dead? I know what Rimuru is thinking. Chloe had the same idea in the past too. But it didn't work. Didn't I say this before? The remnants of Hinata's soul are also trapped in the infinite prison. It's a chaotic void, where everything mixes together. As someone who was born there, I can tell you that Hinata's mathematician is probably integrated in that void already. It was different for someone like Vildora, who had a sizable ego and immense energy. But for Hinata, even if she became a saint, she was still human. There was no way she could survive in the infinite prison. Hinata's body was outside. As long as the soul was alright, she could be revived. Chronoa sighed and I felt depressed. But then someone spoke. No, don't worry. Hinata is a very resilient child. She won't have disappeared completely. So let's try to call for her. It was Shizu-san. She was smiling.